Hey everyone, Donna Nelson here. I am the life and business empowerment coach for business leaders and for those business innovators and those conscious change makers who want to lead from within. Welcome to episode 19 of Rooted in Wisdom, a daily dose of Donna. Today I'm talking about connection and the importance of connection. I had a really neat experience today. I was actually listening to a local podcast, and one of the guests was actually a local business owner, and she was sharing her journey through addiction. And one of the things that she said that was so powerful that made me want to talk about this tonight was that the opposite of addiction is connection. And I've noticed how during this epidemic or this pandemic, the damn pandemic, how much we realize as humans connection is more important and so powerful for us. We are naturally designed to have interaction and human connection. There's no way around it. We will suffer without human connection. And so while this isn't really a discussion about addiction, I wanted to really build on what she said and why it is so powerful. And while there's probably no real design around connection is the opposite of addiction, I will tell you that I absolutely believe it is the medicine of addiction, for addiction. You know, when we think about, well, what is addiction? What is our state? What is our mental state, our emotional state, our physical state, our spiritual state? You know, when we're in, and it doesn't have to necessarily even be drugs or alcohol. It could be anything that has a grasp over us that we've given control to, or yeah, I'll leave it like that. So to move on from that. So, but when we're in that state of not feeling that belonging, right? Like that's what it is, right? We're scared. We lack this sense of belonging. We feel rejected. We feel separate from. We feel doubtful. Hopeless, right? Just isolated and alone. And so what is the opposite of that? And I'll hit on a few things on how we overcome this, how we can, even in isolation, we can be more connected, feel a deeper sense of connection to ourselves and others, and how we do that. But if we think about what is connection, like what, again, we're always fighting for an emotion, right? We're either trying to avoid one or move toward one. And that's why addiction can be a solution, right? Because we're trying to avoid these painful experiences that we've had, you know, in our journey of doing every day, and all the rules and the roles that, you know, we try so hard to live up to, in our pain, and our loss, in our failures, in our disappointments. Have enough of those and not the resources, the inner resources, the outer resources to help you navigate through that. It's easy to fall into addiction. And what we're really wanting is this emotion, these feelings that we're lacking. So moving to addiction is a way of numbing out, and escaping that pain and that loss that we haven't learned how to deal with. So in connection, we're really seeking and experiencing feeling safe and protected and supported, and having that sense of belonging, whether it's to a group or being part of a family, to another person who values and cherishes us. We have more trust. We're not feeling this sense of being guarded like we do when we're in addiction because we're scared, being vulnerable versus, well, I think I just said being vulnerable versus being scared, and trusting versus being guarded. And we have higher self-esteem when we're in that deep state of addiction. We're feeling low self-worth, which just magnifies it even more. So, there was a study done. This was even pre-pandemic. So imagine how bad it is now. And there's no studies that I've seen that have shown this, because it's still kind of early to have clear numbers on the research, I think. But even pre-pandemic, 3 out of 5 people reported feeling lonely and lacking meaningful companionship. That's significant. And men reported higher numbers than women did. So this is a big challenge for so many of us, and things that we fight against every day. And then be in a pandemic where we have to work from home and have isolated working conditions, even if we are at work. All of those things, it's easy for us to lose a sense of self if we don't have the tools and the strategies and the preparedness to be ahead of it before it sinks in a deep way. So as we lose ourselves, we disconnect, right? We log out. It's like essentially we just legit log out, like fuck everything, I'm done, don't have the energy, completely depleted, feel lost. And then we just find ways to numb out or suppress, avoid, and escape. And so I want to share, because this is such a crazy high instance that this is happening. And I loved what Jessica said. The opposite of addiction is connection. So how do we get that deep connection, even in isolation, even in being alone? And one of the things that I've always done, it's always been my go-to. I can't say I ever really thought deeply about it. It just felt like an intuitive solution for me. That was a good strategy to save myself, I guess you could say. And that has been to always find something to be grateful for, looking for the good, looking for the helpers, looking for the possibility. And the other piece of that kind of ties into that for me, that helped me with that, probably even more so, is volunteering and just doing small acts of kindness. It doesn't mean you have to go out in the community. It could just be a text to a friend, hey, I'm thinking of you. It could be picking up the mail for your neighbor. It could be taking out their garbage. It could be hopping on a video call with someone. It could be a bazillion things, right? But it could also be in the community. So just helping someone with their groceries at the grocery store, put them in their car, or put their cart back for them. So many, letting someone go in front of you at the grocery store or at the checkout line or something. Just it's these little things that help keep our value and help keep us connected to our own inner worth. And then the other is just being grounded. How are we able to ground ourselves? What is that? For me, it's a few things. I love taking a hot bath every night. For me, that is grounding. It calms my mind. It calms my body. Meditation, taking breaks throughout the day to really just think about, where am I? What am I doing? What's my meaning here? Like in just a hot second, that quick assessment, like, is there anything I'm doing here that matters? And why am I even doing it? And doing more of what matters. And I say what matters to you, not to anyone else. What really matters to you. Is it eating healthy? Is it just relaxing and reading a good book? Is it reaching out to friends and just chatting? What is your hobby? How about serving others? How do we do that? And really just doing things that align with your values. Again, because that's increasing, it's helping to connect you to your own inner worth and the things that matter to you, which then in turn make you feel better and less alone or less feeling like you're in isolation. So I think those were all of my things. So that's what I wanted to share on that. So I'm curious if right now you're experiencing feeling super lonely or and have found a solution. What worked for you? Share it in the post and tell me what you do to get yourself out of that mode and to not do things that are harmful or more destructive or taking you off focus of the things that are serving your highest good. All right, see you next time.